What does it take to be a swing in the West End? George Ross knows all about it, coming to the end of his run as a swing in MJ the Musical, which closes in the West End this week. It feels like a role that not everyone always realises the ins and outs of, so let's dive into it a bit more. Thanks for joining me today, George.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's nice to see you.
That's you as well.
So, how long have you been at MJ for?
I joined MJ at the start of the run. So I want to say we started rehearsals January 2024. So it was like a little bit after my uni. So I finished uni in about June 2023, and then I got hired November 2023.
Now, obviously, from the accent, we can tell that you're not originally from London. So, were you studying in London, or did you come over here for the show?
I was studying in London. This is all per chance, I guess. I came to study in London. I was approaching my 30s and I was like, I want to try school again because I was doing some good stuff in New York, but like, school opens doors in a lot of ways. But I was like, I want to try somewhere else. And as soon as I did it, the doors just started crashing open. It was like amazing success. I went to a Rose Bruford College in Sidcup. That's where I
Yeah.
went.
I mean,
Yeah.
MJ is a great opportunity. So obviously, what opened just so it's 2 years it's played in the West End, and
hmm
huge hit on Broadway. Michael Jackson's music is timeless, one of the greatest catalogs of all time. So it's a beast of a show to join. Like, it's not just like dipping your toe in; it's like diving head first, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess one of the advantages for me was that the writer who wrote the book, Lynn Nottage, I was familiar with some of her work. Like I actually used another one of her plays called Fabulation to when I auditioned for uni that I got into. So it was like a whole full circle moment to come back around and then had this big audition, and it was her. So I kind of I had the advantage, I guess, of being American and understanding the text, understanding the writer, kind of understanding like how we might commonly say something and things of that nature. You get what I mean? So it was definitely like advantage in that.
So for anyone wondering, what exactly is a swing?
What is a swing? Okay, so there's two. It's a swing slash cover, right? Uh, I guess I'm more of a cover, but a swing is someone who, I guess in America you might call them an understudy, or um, when someone is ill or something goes awry, someone gets hurt on stage, we are always on standby. What I was like, we are always on standby to come and make sure the show keeps going. Always in waiting, and we go on at any moment. My first show actually was uh was a Dave show, and I was up in I call it my tower, in the swing tower, waited, just relaxing. And then, somebody had to go off, and I went on after the interval. I'm just always there, always be ready. I mean, that's the job.
I mean, I think so. What obviously makes it different to an understudy is usually understudies are just there for one role, sometimes more than one. But
hmm
swings, it could be any number of roles, and I find that alien, like how many different tracks you have to keep in your head at once. So
Right, right, right.
how many different tracks do you do at MJ?
I cover three tracks. I cover three supporting principal tracks. I cover the Alejandro track. I cover the Dave track, and I cover the Nick Berry track.
Which one have you gone on for most?
I will say it's neck and neck between Dave and Nick Berry. I feel like maybe Nick Berry may have a slight edge, but like, so I was doing more Dave shows last year and Nick shows, but I think this year I've been doing a lot more Nick shows. So yeah,
Because I saw you in the show last week and you were doing a Nick track. But
yes, yes, yes.
it's, as we talk about, having different swing tracks in your head, trying to pull them all together. With MJ, it's even trickier because each track is more than one because you're Nick and you're
hmm
Berry Gordy. So
Yeah,
that's just so many different characters at once. You're like, it's almost like you're a one man MJ. You can do it all.
yeah. I mean, especially with the Nick Berry track, it's like I always try to take it as the duality between the two. Like maybe because Michael is like reimagining people that's in the rehearsal room. So I always saw as like maybe he's seeing the strength that maybe Nick wants to show come out into Barry Gordy. So that's why the Nick character is becoming the Barry Gordy track, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite aspects of MJ actually is how characters morph into others. Like
hmm
especially like it's most notable with Michael's father, how you just see like
hmm
subtle things and then the monstrous like quality of it when he suddenly his body contorts into that character. I just think that's
Yeah,
such a clever touch.
yeah. It was it's kind of like an animal studies thing as well. I think I know one of the former I forgot what he definitely told me he was doing animal studies. I think it was maybe like some type of reptile or something. I'm kind of channeling a meerkat. So you know, is this but yeah, it's kind of like it changes into it morphs in the world. I've also thought it was great too, being a cover swing right out of uni to be able to s still try out multiple roles. Like maybe I'm not the face yet, but I'm still having to be able to like exercise my training, be in multiple roles. So I'm like being, practice versatility, to change into different characters. And I think it's been like fantastic, like postgraduate uh thing to do for sure.
So, what is the swing experience specifically like at MJ?
Mm, it was a lot of rehearsals. Again, it was so many rehearsals because you cover 3 or 4 tracks, and the ones who are more dance heavy, they comfortably cover more tracks. They might be doing like 5, 6. And so, the first we have the regular rehearsal, and we're at the tables and we're watching. You have to notate everything, um, which is changed for me because I just came out of uni, so I was more a kinesthetic learner, and so it's good to like shift that into like, all right, more become more visual and writing down the notes. And then you go, and then they start doing the show. And then early in the days, you go into the theater, starting about 12 p.m. to like 4:30 sometimes. And you would rehearse. We would rehearse for weeks. We might get some breaks in between each character one. But yeah, we were rehearsals a lot. And then if someone gets added on, like if we hire someone else, you got to come back into rehearsals. The overtime was nice. But but yeah, it's a lot of work. I mean, sometimes people think you're just like upstairs just doing nothing, but our work is in the day. We're working in the day, constantly preparing, constantly sharpening our swords because we can go at any moment. And we got to keep the quality of the show up. So, we got to make sure we get our crisp and successful. And also we don't have like all the parts as well as the because it's less swings than the cast. So, we are rehearsing with less people. So it just takes a little bit more focus, but it definitely shapes you as an artist for sure.
I mean, what I've always found fascinating is just performing in general, just obviously remembering every line, every move, every bit of blocking. But as a swing, you've got multiple tracks in your head. So how do
Hmm.
you keep those different tracks straight? Specifically, if when you're a Nick, you're going to be blocked in this, you're going to be this part of the stage. Dave, you're here. How do you separate all of that in your head?
I guess it's kinesthetic memory, like muscle memory. There are times though when I'm like backstage for like, let's say, uh, a day track, and then I can hear a cue, and I'm like, oh, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not that character today. I'm in the right spot. I'm fine. I'm fine. So like sometimes the body does jolt, like you have something to do, but I guess it's maybe I think maybe the costumes and being in the world of this particular character, you just kind of ungrounded and you know where you're supposed to be for this, you know. And I also think sometimes what I think find a good thing is sometimes one character might mirror another. So I know one character's on one side, and that kind of like helps me move for the other, but they're always there. They're working in tandem, making sure I'm in the right place.
I still just can't even fathom how people's minds work like swings, like all these different roles. But that's
I
why I
can't do
think
it
that
either.
anyone that does a swing track is just deserves all the flowers they get. And sometimes they don't get all the praise they deserve, but there'd be no
No.
industry without them.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of why this all came up because I want to keep working in the country. And I've been doing such an incredible show, but there's nothing about me particularly. You know what I mean? So it is kind of like the double-edged sword. Like, I'm an MJ, hey, but it's like, what? Who are you? You know? And so, you guys kind of, I guess, in a way as well, being a swing, this taught me I have to put myself out there. You can't wait to be found. You have to go out and say, hey, I'm a plumber. I can fix your sink if you like. And know the skills that you have. You just can't wait to get picked up. You're your own business. You have to shop yourself out.
So, what's the fastest turnaround you've had between finding out that you were going to do a role and then stepping on stage?
The fastest turnaround. Hmm. Like I have ever been thrown on. I guess I've seen it have I've seen some fast turnaround. Lucky for me, like none of my characters really dance. So it wouldn't be such a fast turnaround. It's like somebody who just gets injured and go. I think the one time was my first that wasn't my first show, but uh there's somebody got a call from home. Something was kind of tragically happening at home they were. So they just had to leave. And so I think I got like 10 minutes. They told me like right before interval I was going on, and then they confirmed that interval. Then I just got ready and I was on for the next part. You know,
Have you ever had to change tracks mid-show?
have I ever had to change straps in this show? No, not me particularly. Yeah, that's the difference between the swing and cover because I'm covering more of the support and principal tracks. It's just a little less opportunity for them to get hurt. But I have seen it all the time, all the time. I think the show that you came to, or at least in the morning time, no, the day before. So I was on Friday I was Dave, on Saturday I was Nick Berry. So like that's my thing. Like I might be a character one day and then the next character the next, right? That's like the sharp thing. But I was down, we did beat it, and I think somebody like pulled their hamstring, top of the show. And one of my colleagues, Rashad, um, he had to come down in like 10 minutes. Like he had to get, it's like they're gonna finish this last beat, you gotta come down like instantly. Like all the time with the swing, the dance tracks, they have to be ready at any time. We be sitting comfortably, laughing and gabbing upstairs, and then it's like, oh, you gotta go.
I mean, all these stories I hear, like there's a podcast I've recorded that I've not released yet, so I can't say who it is just yet. But someone who said about at the beginning of the show, knocked themselves out and were just unconscious in the first number at the side of the stage. It's like Jesus Christ. I mean, there's never a dull moment in theatre, is there?
It's never a dull moment. I mean, if people even saw what was going backstage, there'll be a hoop. Sometimes it's bigger than the actual show. It's like if things happen, mate, like people get hurt, that you hit them on the walkies, you get in the text, you hit on the tannoy. It's like this constant moving operation, and people must be ready at all times to go on and replace. And I always wonder what the audience thinks. Like, like that person looks different.
I've,
Like,
I've, I've I've seen that. I remember once in a show in the interval hearing people say, "Did that character change?" And it's like, "Well, yeah, he looks completely different from the person before."
mm,
It's of course he changed, but then it's like you wonder what does go on backstage. They're so quick as well that they don't stop the
hmm
show. He walks off the stage. A minute later, someone else walks on in the outfit. It's like, what's the magic that happens?
yeah, a showstop is like the last resort, and that usually only happens if it's something like technically happening. But if it's just a character going on, then they don't stop the show. They do an easy, smooth transition. I always found that funny because the Dave character that I cover, I'm first cover Dave, but me and Dave look nothing alike. And this is the first year, and when that was the story I was telling, when that Dave had to go, and I came on the second act, I was always wondering like, what does this audience think? Are they able to stay, maintain the world, that they were in? But like, I think in a way as well, it like leads people to be more open to characterization and to like, all right, like suspend disbelief, uh, and just buy it. Like it is what it is. Like, and anybody could be any character at any point, and it doesn't have to be look like this or that. It just is, and you know, it's the human story. And so they just take it. They have to.
I mean, it's creative, isn't it? There's always
Hmm
creativity both on and off stage. Have you
hmm
ever had to be part of a cut show where you've got less people than
Oh,
usual?
I've been a part of cut shows. I've stepped in and cut shows, done parts that like not in my list of tracks. I've done like um one of my favorite times was like doing the Bob Fosse line, from the tipping of your hat to the flourish of your fingers. I got to do that. That was a fun one. I've done I pulled Michael's jacket once, because we're always ready and we're always helpful because we want the show to go on. We don't want to get canceled shows or we don't want the show to shut down. So, we're just always ready. And then those moments are like the most memorable moments where you do a cut show and uh you gotta really huddle together and be a team to make sure that things go on you. And that's when we bond and appreciate each other the most as well, I would say.
How do you manage the pressure or uncertainty of possibly going on at any moment?
How do I manage the pressure? When before I went on, I was like, am I going to, what's the word I say, croak? Am I going to like just go freeze up when I get there? But if you, one, it's so foggy, I can't see the audience. And two, like, I mean, the job is well, they used to tell me this in uni, like the character is the other person across from you is your whole world. Um, and if I'm connected to my partner on the stage, then nothing else matters. There is no pressure. Just I'm not me. I'm this character. And then I'm talking to this other person, and there should be no reason why I'm breaking if I'm just like in the world, if I'm making any sense.
Yeah.
And that's how I handle the pressure. Just yeah, in the world, looking in that person's eyes. Because once I break that concept, that connection, it's over. I have to stay connected. I have to stay grounded, or it's just going to fall apart. But yeah, just we have each other,
Yeah.
and we just got
So the big question, which we've talked about it, but let's just get a clear answer. Why are swings so vital for the industry?
because we keep the show going. The show must go on, and it can't go on without us.
100%.
100%.
It's the thing, like, if there are no swings, the show gets cancelled that night. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm. 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 Like even yeah, they need swings. People take off. People have things they need to do, and it's really vital. Like sometimes if a swing is off, and and then a character, and then somebody ensemble goes off, it's less chance of the show staying on rather than if the swings are in and then somebody just goes off. I mean, the ensemble is the face. The on stage is they're the face there, but we are like the back. That makes any sense.
Yeah.
And we it's still one body. We all need each other. So yeah, for
So,
sure.
what advice would you give anyone looking to do a role as a swing?
Hmm. Um, what advice would I give anyone doing a role as a swing? I would say be flexible, and see it as an opportunity. See it as an opportunity to flex your creativity, to flex your acting muscles. Um, I didn't necessarily know what a swing was when I joined the cast. I was just out of school. We use different language here in America, so I wasn't quite sure. And I was like, I want to be on stage, but I took the opportunity, and the the more I felt like I got more training, and I was able to one, yeah, it's like I'm not so on the front foot to be judged, but also I have more training to try different characters, and it was also made me realize there's no small parts. Sometimes we learn this in school, and people feel like I don't have enough lines and this, that, and the third, but actually, if it's a whole world and every character is integral, and if you're playing three parts, four parts, you're just working out your versatility. Just stay flexible and know that you're getting like some sharp, sharp, sharp training because the training never stops. No matter if you're like as big as Denzel, these people still go train. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or any big actor. So just take it as an opportunity. It's a big
Yeah.
opportunity, and you're getting sharper than you think.
Are there any tips you'd give as well for like how you can learn your different tracks? Like anything that helped you?
Oh yeah, because I had a lot of tips. Get an iPad. What did I do? I get a notebook, and what they used to give us, they gave us like pictures of the stage, like in like a graph form, and it's kind of like highlights your movements. it ended up being kind of fun because I was like drawing and I kind of like can see where I move from here. So it's just one. Two, so I'm like making a map. And so you can make a map any way you want. Some people use modern technology with an iPad. I was using a book. It was starting to fall apart, but I liked my book because I was like using color pens with different colors. And I was just like, this is my map and this is my world and everything that I need to know is in this book and it's my book and it's my history.
Yeah.
um, and so get a book, listen keenly, listen keenly in the first rehearsals when the on stage cast is learning, because they're going to expect you to know already. I thought that we were going to get our like own rehearsals, and I like knew I had a general sense, but just make sure you're being very specific about what you're doing. They expect you to know because it does need to move quick because they won't want you to get on as soon as possible. They want you to be successful. They want you to get on as soon as possible. So um, know your track. Do whatever you need to do to be specific and um, really be keen on becoming more of a visual learner. Like I mentioned before, I was used to doing stuff kinesthetically, being on the stage, filling out the scene, moving bit by bit, finding the blocking. But it became more of like, all right, I need to learn differently. And so now I can learn two ways, just in general. And I just feel a little bit more adept in that. So just be flexible and it just it goes into other parts of life as well. It's you know how you pick up things. Never be sedentary in your learning.
Okay. So it's the final week for MJ in the West End. Have you got a favourite memory that you're going to take with you from your time there?
My favorite memory. Hmm.
Or you can do several, not confined to one.
um, I don't know. I would say my favorite time is I had got an injury myself, but I guess in that injury, I was at home and I was visualizing the parts a lot. And then I think when I came back to do it, I just felt a little bit more alive. Um, I guess my favorite takeaway is um, even when you fall, you can like come back a little bit stronger than before. I'm gonna say a weird anecdote. There's this anime called Dragon Ball Z, and sometimes the Saiyans, when they get beat to a pulp, they like can come back from like near death into like this big stronger thing. And I guess my biggest takeaway in that is just like I got injured, but then I felt like I came back a bit stronger. And I just, I guess, to make it a little bit more smaller thing, is that I really enjoy warm up. Warm up is the time where they're on stage and the swings come together, like in that 15 minutes of warming up, and we warm up and we gather and we talk. And that bond, I mean, it really does get us through the day. And so that's the time that we come together as a company. And those are my favorite memories when I'm with my company because when we are bonding, it reflects in our performances. So
Okay.
yeah,
And now a completely different question.
okay, cool.
A while ago I spoke to someone who had just left Mamma Mia, and he told
Hmm.
me that he could not listen to any more ABBA songs once he left the show. So once you leave MJ, will you be able to listen to Michael Jackson songs, or do you need a break?
You know what? I mean, it's Michael Jackson. I can't. I haven't been. I'm not annoyed with the music yet. Sometimes I'm like, am I annoyed? Nah, I'm not. I'm not listening to Michael necessarily when I come home or like my radio and stuff. But like, I think in terms of like jukebox or a theater, it's not a. I mean, I love ABBA too, so I have to see it with me. But I think nah, it might. It'll be a natural break, but I'm not tired of it. I'm not tired of
do
his music.
you think when you listen to one of his songs, you'll be replaying how it's in the show in your head, like you'll be doing the choreography or the lines that you'll be doing? Has it ruined Michael Jackson basically?
Has a real Michael Jackson? No, it makes me want to listen to his other music more. It hasn't ruined it. It hasn't ruined it, no, no, no. Because the songs that I like are the songs that I like, and
Yeah,
the songs that I like didn't want to hear before, I probably won't be listening to anyway.
fair enough.
But like I've always been like a good MJ fan, but I've always been more into his deep cuts. Um, but no, I don't think I'm tired of it. I don't think I'm tired of it because he did something with music that makes you not tired of it. So
Yeah.
like, yeah, I hear it every day, but no, I'm not tired at all. It's still good. And certain songs it means certain things. Like when I hear Thriller, that means it's time to pack up. So that's always gonna be good to me. When I hear I like Beat It, it's like, all right, start the show. Like uh want to be starting something that always gonna remind me of the good that that's like a phantasmal number with a lot of lights, a lot of movement. So like I'm always going to think of that. That's like a fun number. Um, Stranger in Moscow always makes me feel like more um, inner and like reflective. Yeah, it's I've always something about the music always makes me think about myself. So it's not very like outer. It always like connects back into George and relatability. And so yeah, I don't no, I'm not tired of it. I don't think I'll be tired of it. I'm not saying I'm pressing play as soon as I get out the house, like to listen to the music. But if I hear it in the street, it's gonna be good memories.
I mean, so what? I saw you on Saturday night, said hi to you after the show, and as soon as I walked away, I put Michael Jackson on my earpods and was just walked. And I don't think I've stopped listening to the last few days since. It's funny,
hmm
he's like I've listened to Michael Jackson my whole life. My mum raised me on his music. I even saw him
hmm
in concert when I was a kid. But
Really?
yeah, I was very young. But actually, the
hmm
tour before that, I was living in Wembley and I could hear him. I was sat in the garden listening to
hmm
him, and then the next tour I was there. He was an
Yeah.
ant on stage, but at least I got to see him. But yeah,
hmm
it's something that I've always listened to. But then you do go through breaks where it's like, oh, I might listen to the odd song, but then I've just been back invested in his discography over the last few days, and oof, what a catalog.
Yeah. What a catalog. I mean, it's just something about I think when it comes to pop music as well, like he's the king of pop, and something about pop is like it's like simple yet complex, but it kind of brings people together. And so that's what makes it like popular, I guess. Like even if it's like people, want more what's the succinct music, whatever. But I feel like Michael really just like did something where it was like complex yet simple. Like it brings people together or makes them like reflect. And that's the point of art, isn't it? Like, you see yourself in it, relatability,
Yeah,
you be able to relax or to think or to feel heard. A lot of times I think in his music, people feel heard.
yeah,
And
no,
so I think
definitely.
that's what keeps it alive.
And I'm a great defender of jukebox musicals because I think they're a great way to further the legacy, to make them immortal, and to help new
hmm
generations discover them. So long after the performer has passed on or stopped performing, a
hmm
whole new generation can discover them. I went to the Carole King musical years ago, knowing nothing about her. 6 months later, I was
hmm
seeing her in her concert.
Yeah.
The same with the Kinks musical I went to a few weeks ago, which did before my time, didn't know much of their music, started listening to them. It's a great way to keep the music alive in new ways that they wouldn't have even considered when they created it.
Yeah. And then for as I mentioned the playwright, Lynn Nottage, like
Yeah,
she usually writes straight plays. Um, and so when I read the script, I felt like it was still leaning towards that kind of, it still felt like more of a play that included music. When I went to uni here, I was just studying straight theater. I wasn't a MT student. And so I think it was just like a wonderful segue for me to kind of just like get on board because I feel like um, I'm still an actor, but I'm learning like other aspects as well, being able to sing Michael songs. But it does feel like I'm doing more of a play than a musical. I guess the way that we break out into songs is a bit different than maybe a lot of musicals do as well,
yeah,
because it being in the rehearsal room gives it more flexibility to how his songs are introduced. If that makes any sense, because
yeah,
it can
definitely.
come in the memories or it can come in the rehearsal, but we're still hearing the music. So it just makes it a little bit more. Help me find the word, Daz.
Oh
Uh,
God, stop
to
me.
the I don't know. It's like to the. I don't want to say to the earth.
Grounded.
Grounded,
Uh,
grounded,
there we
grounded.
go.
Grounded. That's it. That's it.
So, final question: what would
Hmm.
you like to do next?
What would I like to do next? Um, I don't know. I know what I want to do next. I want to keep acting. I want to keep acting. I got the bug bad, man. I got the bug bad. Um,
Still in the West End.
Still in the West End, or maybe I want to do something like at the National or at the Globe. Um, I do want to sink my teeth into like more text, but then I like love to sing as well. So so I gotta find the right balance, like the right show. Because I always like imagine it to do them separately. I was gonna be an actor to maybe like cuts a record. And so doing MJ, I felt like I got to marry the two, and it's been like a beautiful thing. Um, but yeah, I just wanna perform. I just wanna act. I think I will cover again, but I guess in my situation, being straight out of school and trying to continue work in the West End, it just left me a little bit less opportunity to be seen. So when I'm applying for the new visa, they're just like, I don't have any proof about my contributions. And so
Watch this video.
watch this video. Yeah. And I was like, watch this video. But I think that wouldn't have happened had I not been in this position uh, to cover and to swing and to be under some amazing artists who are already in the industry, like to kind of have some tutelage, like to watch Mitchell, to watch Matt Mills, to watch Jamal, to watch Ashley Zangaza, um, to be there and many, many others, and to see them work and in a safe environment and to chat with them and hear how they approach and everything. I mean, that's to answer that question again, that's some great advice for any swing or cover. Like this is a perfect opportunity to be able to sit at some people's feet and to learn how they got into a certain place. And you know, you take their knowledge and you apply it to yourself and continue the journey for your own.
I think that's a great place to wrap it up. George, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank
Break a
you.
leg for the final performances in MJ, and I can't
Thank you.
wait to see
Thank
what
you.
you do next.
Thank you, Das. It's been my pleasure. Thank you.